Alright guys, so in the last video y'all seen that we got the 351 out of the 71 F100. What we're working on today is we're going to start breaking it all down. We're going to take the transmission loose. Having some issues right now with torque converter bolts. It looks like somebody's rounded the heads off whenever it was previously installed because it's not an original motor to the truck. So we got to get them loose. I got to go get a few parts real quick. But we'll bring you back in shortly for another update. So just hang tight. Alright guys, so we're checking back in. Don't look like much has changed, but we've had a lot of success. We got the torque converter bolts out. We had to use the help of the fire wrench to heat them up. Most of them had rounded off shoulders, sort of like this one. And if you look close in there, I mean, it's took part of the threads out. Somebody had them cross-threaded pretty bad at some point. But we successfully got them out of there. So we're gonna go on, get ready to take the transmission off the back and get ready to set the motor itself on the engine stand. Just wanted to give you that little checkup. Have a good one. Checking in again, the 351 Windsor from the 71 F100 is now on the engine stand. I've got it to where we're trying to drain a little more coolant out of it. We're going to start the teardown process. Not sure how far we'll get tonight. We're going to try to get it down to where it's a short block anyways. But we'll just see how far we can make it, and we'll take you guys along for the ride. Thank you. Alright guys, we're checking back in. We just wanted to show you that this is basically what it looks like if you don't change your oil. Pretty nasty. That is gross.
Right here, 17 years of setting.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They changed oil in this thing every 15,000 miles, whether it needed it or not.
17 years of setting makes your water jackets look like they've been dragged through a mud hole. That is pretty gross. We got you here now. It's Sunday evening. We just had UPS show up with some of the parts for the 71 F100 project. Like you found out in the earlier video, instead of just replacing the oil pump, we decided to go all in and go ahead and just rebuild the whole engine. So right now we're here. We're going to open this box up and I'm going to show you what all we got for it. Alright. So we're snipping the box open right now. There we go. I've never seen them ship a box like that. Okay. So, what we got here in this order is headers.
Dynaflow headers.
Dynaflow headers we ordered. There's nothing really wrong with the manifold that's on it, but who don't like headers? So, these are relatively cheap set. But as we're doing this truck, we're trying to do it on a budget. They're a pretty good looking header though. They're not ceramic coated or nothing, but black painted.
Had to.
So there we go. One thing we got thinking about is something we've not mentioned about the truck is we're pretty confident we're going to end up going with a Crown Vic frame swap. And we are curious as to whether or not these headers will work with that.
Could that be a Summon header?
Is there some type of header that you guys know that works better with that? And as you can see, we prefer a full length header. So that's something we're wondering. But right there's what this box contains. I kind of thought this would have more than just the headers, but maybe not. But there's just the collector extensions to put onto the existing exhaust pipes that's on the truck. It's got relatively new pipes on it. The fellow that we bought the truck off of was sort of wanting to fix the truck. He'd had it since the 80s, but he's just elderly in age and couldn't really mess with it anymore. So here's our first box of parts that's come in. Well, actually second box. I'll show you the other box in a minute. And in this one we got the headers. Here's the other header. Driver's side header here. As well as the passenger side header and the gaskets go on. So, our big question with these is, will they work with the Crown Vic swap? Because we're pretty much leaning toward going that way. And also, we're ordering an oil pan. It'll be a front sump pan. Will that work with the Crown Vic cross member? You guys let us know in the comments if you have any experience with that. And if not, I guess we'll find out all together if it'll work.
We'll wait on more parts.
That's right. So that takes care of this short little video. We'll probably add more with it and make a more full-length video, but that's where we're at right now.
We'll
Thanks.
need to load the engine block, heads, crank, take it to the machine shop.
Yeah, tomorrow we got, especially for all the rest of the parts come in, we're going to be going to the machine shop with the, we're just doing a standard rebuild. We're not wanting to board or anything, but just hone the little 351 out, polish the crank. Everything looked pretty well. Matter of fact, I'll show you the parts that we pulled out of it so far. So hang tight and we'll be back with that. Alright guys, so we're back over here in the old shop right now where the truck's actually sitting in the engine. I showed you when we was over in the new garage the headers. I thought that was more parts than that, but it was the headers that we ordered for the truck. Which is funny, that's one of the last parts we need, but it's the first one to show up. But the other day when we first started the project, this is the parts we ordered. That I never showed y'all, because if you remember from the first video, originally we was planning on just lifting the motor out and replacing the oil pump. I'll be honest with you, and you guys can see the engine block here after seeing how nasty everything was. I mean, it's just grimy. We decided to go ahead and pull it out, rebuild it, if anything at all, just for the sake of feeling like it's clean and sanitary. And I'll show you some more details here in a minute. That's pretty gross, but either way, this right here is what we ordered before we even really started the project. Of course, new oil pan gasket set. Something that we figured out was that the driver's side motor mount was broke. And if you notice in the first video, there's like a cut in the fan shroud, and I believe that's from the motor raising up and getting into the fan shroud. So we went ahead and ordered 2 new motor mounts. And then this right here is our new high volume oil pump. If I can get it lifted up here. Just a Ford piece. So that's what we plan on putting in it. We got it sealed up pretty good, I will say that. And one-handed isn't exactly simple, but either way, just there you can see the part number, M600B3 high volume oil pump. That's all that's in that box, but Dad's got one of the rod bearings here that we'll look at. And as you guys can see, I hope you can see, it's down to the copper. It was time for a rebuild. We'd have been fighting a losing battle just replacing the oil pump.
The main bearing.
Yeah, the main bearings, we got one here. If we can get over here in the light, we'll set them here on the truck, radiator support. But the rod bearing, I mean, it's very copper-like, and even got a little streak there. The crank doesn't look too bad at all, really. That's why we figured just a polish would get it. But in comparison to the main bearing, so here's the small rod bearing. It's not supposed to be copper, but that's what they look like when they're wore out. They have this silver like coating on them. This is the main bearing actually. You can see, I mean, it's got a little wear on it. You can see some scrub on it, which is totally normal, but it's still silver looking compared to the copper of the rod bearing. So the rods didn't have much time left before they would have expired.
Starvation of the oil.
Yeah, starvation oil. Like we said, the oil pressure never was what we wanted it to be. I think it may be in another video that we shot, but I showed you down the valley of the engine when we first pulled the intake off. It looked very, very gross. Here's the back side of the tire chain cover. You can just see all the sludge and nastiness in it. All throughout the bottom of the engine looked like that. Inside the heads, when we first got the truck, they looked pretty clean, so we thought we was okay. But now they got a little bit of sludge in them after we've had it up and running. But if you can see in there, I use this right here to kind of dig. That's some of the old rod bearings, but you can see just all this sludge sitting in the bottom of the pan. I mean, that is a good 1/4 inch thick. And you can't really see it now where we threw bearings and stuff in there. The oil pump pickup, well, it's right here. You can see this is the oil pump itself. There's the pickup that feeds oil to the pump. It sucks it from this right here. And this ring that goes around it was basically submerged in all that gunk. So the fact that it was getting any oil pressure is really a miracle. The truck really didn't rattle, knock, so to speak, but sounded pretty well. We just know we need a little more oil pressure. Thought maybe just a tired oil pump, but after tearing it down, I'm really glad we went ahead and tore it all the way down. Again, it's just all the other parts that we got.
Cam bearings sure look good.
The cam bearings, yeah, we'll take a look at them. They actually look pretty good. We're just gonna get the block hot tanked and cleaned up good, so we're gonna go ahead and replace the cam bearings while we was at it. They really don't look bad at all. Excuse me, guys. Had a little bit of a cold. Now here's the heads. Again, they looked really clean when we first got the truck and pulled the valve covers. But now they got a little bit of gunk in them now. All we're gonna do on them is clean them up good. Put some new valve seals in just to make sure, you know, not leaking any oil past the valve, getting into the cylinder, cause any smoke issues, but I think they'll be in pretty good shape. We had put a new distributor in it to get it fired up, so that's A1 good shape. Fuel pump's in good shape. We're reusing it after we cleaned it up a little bit. The exhaust manifolds will be gone. As you've seen, we got the headers. Clean up the water pump. It seems to be a new piece. We'll clean it up, get it put back on. All the pulleys will be sandblasted and painted. This is the oil pressure sending unit. We'll probably go ahead and get a new one just to make sure that wasn't an issue showing low oil pressure because of that. I think did we order the valve covers yet?
Nah,
We've not ordered valve covers yet, but we're thinking about maybe like a fabricated aluminum valve cover, just something that had a little more shine to it, make it look good. The alternator, I'll be honest, it worked fine, but it's so gross looking. We may just go ahead and replace it. The rings off the pistons we have right here. That's the ones that come off. Honestly, they probably weren't that bad. They lost a little tension, so we'll go ahead and replace them. There's the rest of the main bearings laying. Yesterday we was able to clean the rods and pistons up a little bit, and rocker arms. Got them here ready to go. Right there's the crank out of the engine. You can see it's got some wear on it. That's why we're going to polish it, but it's really not in bad shape at all. The old camshaft, actually it's probably reusable, but we decided to go ahead and order a little cam. I think we settled on like a sort of a stock replacement for a 5-liter HO engine. We didn't want to go too aggressive because we're trying to keep the factory stall converter, and the Ford stall converter is pretty tight converter, so that might give you issues trying to just put it in gear and to keep it running. So we thought that might give, honestly that cam didn't sound bad at the original cam through the pipes. I wish I would have took a video before we tore it down, because it sounded pretty good really. As of right now, we're going to keep this intake manifold, just going to clean it up good. It's actually aluminum 2-barrel intake. The thing I don't like about it is it seems to be like a newer model with EGR emissions on it. But it's aluminum intake. We'll sandblast it, make it look nice again, maybe clear coat it to protect it. And the carburetor we've took off. I don't know where we set that right off, but it's actually a brand new carburetor. When we first got the truck, the 2 things we changed to get it running was the carburetor and the distributor and coil. Over here's the carburetor. So you can see, I mean, it's a brand new 2-barrel, run out real well on there. So that's kind of where we're at with this. Hopefully tomorrow, if the parts that we were actually expecting today come in, we will get this thing all fired up, and well, not fired up, but over to the machine shop and get them started on it. That way we can bring it back, reassemble, and get it painted up, everything looking nice. And as of right now, you guys know how working on a vehicle is. The plans change day to day. But as of right now, I think the biggest plan is to get this engine together and ready to go. The transmission, which I have laying right, let's see if I can get you to see it there, right there. It's a C6, seems like a great transmission. The fluid come out of it, look nice and red still. Truck shifted great. We're just gonna clean it up. I think we'll go ahead and maybe just put fresh clutches in it so it's fresh as well. But all that stuff will be cleaned up, painted, detailed, set off to the side. In upcoming videos, what we're planning on is coming in and working on putting fresh cab supports, cab mounts, whatever you want to call them on. We're going to replace sections of the floor, and it's basically right where the cab mounts to the floor. Cab mounts mount to the floorboards. Got some soft areas and some spots with some holes in them. We'll replace that. They've had some previous patchwork, but to be honest with you, I just don't like it. I want it to look better than that. And then after we do that, we're probably going to look into getting rid of the big ugly cross member there, and probably putting a Crown Vic subframe under it to make it handle a little better, and it'll go ahead and lower it that way. So that's the state of the build right now. Thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll try to keep you updated. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on all the videos. And if you guys ask any questions, we'll try to get right back with you and stay in touch with you. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Alright guys, welcome back to the Maguire Motorsports YouTube channel. It's Tuesday night. We're out in the shop a little bit. We didn't get any work done yesterday because we took the engine block and the heads and time check cover, a few other items down to the machine shop to get that guy started on cleaning them up. He's going to hone the block. We're going to be putting in new cam bearings, new freeze plugs, polishing the crank, a few other little odd and end things. New valve seals, getting everything ready for us to assemble back here at the shop. The last time I recorded anything was Sunday night. So what I'm going to do is flip the camera around here. Sunday night we did have a package come in. It was these headers for the truck. Then Monday afternoon we had this box come in. This is the rest of the engine parts for the truck. There is one thing missing that's on back order. Supposed to ship tomorrow, and we did take the cam bearings out and the freeze plugs and the valve seals out to take with us to the machine shop yesterday. But I'll show you what else we got here. First things first, we have our, let's see if I can remember which one's which. Alright, that right there is our main bearings for the engine. So here's the main bearings. That means right here is going to be the rings for the pistons. So we got our main bearings, the main bearings here, piston rings here. The camshaft that we got, and we just got the Summit brand camshaft. See if I can turn it in here. It's the SUM 4400. The part that I mentioned that's on back order is going to be the lifters for that. We bought it as a kit. The lifters are on back order. But as I said, they're supposed to ship tomorrow, so hopefully we get that in tomorrow. So main bearings, rings, camshaft. This 260 1446 Velcro engine gasket set. Got our timing set, just a Summit brand timing set for the engine. And then of course our rod bearings. It's just a standard rod bearing, a sealed power 3380 CPA. So that's where we're at on parts. Tonight, what we got intended on working on is just going to go over to the old garage, and we're going to straighten up a little bit, get ourselves ready, because the engine is supposed to be back here at the shop. He said probably by the end of the week. We'll see how that goes. You know how machine shop works. But that's the plan for now. We will then work on reassembly of the engine. So we're gonna go over clean the shop up a little bit, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, share. Help us grow the channel. This right here will probably be video number 2 or 3 if I'm not mistaken. So we appreciate everybody that's subscribed so far. And follow along on the build. Thanks. Have a good evening. Alright guys, so I thought I was ending off the video there. But as I was walking out the garage door here, I happened to kick a box. The box says it's from Summit Racing, so we'll go ahead and open it up, see what it is. I'm assuming it's the lifters. I think that's the only part that was missing now. So, thought I'd just bring you guys in on this and have a little unboxing of something from Summit today. Anybody likes cars, we know that you love getting something from Summit. Pat just walked in. We got another Summit box today. We're opening it up right now. I'm assuming it's lifters, but I'm not real sure. Well, can't forget the stickers. It's everybody's favorite part. Alright. And it is. That is the Summit hydraulic valve lifter set. So now we got the full cam kit. So we're doing really good now. So again, I thought I was leaving the video off all ago, but I guess Summit saw fit to make us extend it a little bit. So now I think we got everything we need to assemble the engine when it gets back from the machine shop. And we will leave you off with that. Have a good evening. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. Share the videos. Have a good evening. Bye.